Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. For months, the world was holding its breath. The final, secret files on Jeffrey Epstein were about to go public, and speculation was running wild. Everyone was waiting for the bombshell, never before seen. Compromising photos of Prince Andrew, the disgraced Duke of York. Photos that could finally demolish what was left of his reputation. On January 30th, 2026, the last massive trove of documents dropped. But what was actually inside the millions of pages? It turns out, the real story is a lot more complicated than the rumors led us to believe. On January 30th, 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice released its final, massive set of documents from the long-running investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and his network. The release was huge, containing over 3 million pages of records from FBI stings, the cases against Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and more. For weeks, the media had been gearing up for a smoking gun involving Prince Andrew. Whispers of truly shocking photos had reached a fever pitch. And yet, as journalists and researchers dug through the mountain of data, a surprising truth came out. The specific, scandalous photos of Prince Andrew that everyone was talking about just weren't there. Sure, the files contained plenty of documents about the Duke's friendship with Epstein, but the bombshell images didn't materialize. This anticlimax has completely changed the conversation. It's no longer about a new, shocking revelation, but about a much deeper question. What does all the evidence, both old and new, really tell us about Andrew's role in the Epstein saga? The lack of one explosive photo forces us to look again at the disturbing facts we've known for years, facts that have resurfaced with a vengeance. While the 2026 files didn't give us a new smoking gun photo, they did drag old testimony back into the spotlight, forcing a public re-examination of some very damning accounts. The two big ones were the detailed depositions from Johanna S. Joburg and Juan Alessi, whose sworn statements paint a deeply unsettling picture of Prince Andrew's time in Epstein's world. Johanna S. Joburg's story, from a 2016 deposition, was suddenly front and center again. She described being at Epstein's Manhattan apartment in 2001 when Andrew allegedly touched her breast. S. Joburg testified that they were posing for a photo when Prince Andrew placed his hand on her breast. While Buckingham Palace has always called these allegations categorically untrue, having this sworn testimony bubble up again was a stark reminder of just how serious the accusations against Andrew really are. Then there's the testimony from Juan Alessi, a former housekeeper at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. In a 2009 deposition, Alessi said that Prince Andrew spent weeks with us at the Florida home. When asked if the prince got massages, Alessi replied, "I would say daily massages." This detail, while not new, punches a hole in the story Andrew has always told, that he was just an infrequent guest. Instead, Alessi's testimony portrays the Duke as a regular fixture in the very house where so many of Epstein's monstrous crimes took place. This latest document release didn't happen in a vacuum. It landed on top of years of controversy, denials, and one spectacularly bad TV interview. To really get it, we have to remember the key moments. Prince Andrew's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein started back in 1999. Even after Epstein's 2008 conviction for procuring a minor for prostitution, Andrew went to visit him in New York in 2010, a decision he later admitted was a mistake. Of course, the most infamous piece of evidence is still that 2001 photo of Andrew with his arm around a 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre, with Ghislaine Maxwell smiling beside them. That single image has probably done more to wreck the Duke's credibility than anything else. His attempts to discredit it have been relentless and, frankly, unbelievable to many. And that brings us to the moment his public reputation completely imploded, the November 2019 BBC Newsnight interview. It was a total car crash. Andrew famously denied he could even remember meeting Virginia Giuffre. He gave a bizarre alibi for one of the alleged nights, claiming he was at a Pizza Express in Woking with his daughter. He also claimed a medical condition made it impossible for him to sweat, directly contradicting Giuffre's detailed memory of him sweating heavily. Maybe worst of all, he showed almost zero sympathy for Epstein's victims. This interview shattered any public goodwill he had left and led directly to him stepping back from all his royal duties. The fallout from his ties to Epstein has been brutal and swift. In January 2022, his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, took the incredible step of stripping him of his military titles and royal patronages. He was also forced to stop using his Royal Highness in any official way. The pressure has only grown under his brother, King Charles III. He remains a prince by birth and is still eighth in line to the throne, but the palace has made it crystal clear he will never return to public life. He has become a royal outcast, largely stripped of the duties and privileges he was born into. There's even some speculation he might try to rebrand himself abroad, perhaps using his old naval rank of commander, but insiders have called that idea fraught with risk and likely to backfire spectacularly. So, what did these January 2026 files really change? They didn't provide a new, explosive photograph, but they did reignite public anger by focusing everyone's attention back on the mountain of troubling evidence we already have. The files have also brought older, damning pieces of correspondence back to the surface. For instance, there are emails, reported years ago, that allegedly show Andrew inviting Epstein to BP, believed to be Buckingham Palace, in September 2010, right after Epstein got out of jail. It's not clear if that meeting ever took place, but the invitation itself, sent after Epstein was a convicted sex offender, is a terrible look. Another email from August 2010 appears to show Epstein offering to set up. So, what does this all mean for the disgraced Duke? The final unsealing of the Epstein files wasn't the single knockout blow some were expecting. There was no new photo so damning it would end all debate. Instead, the reality is something much more corrosive. These millions of pages act as a powerful, unavoidable reminder of a disturbing pattern of behavior, terrible judgment, and a callous lack of concern for the victims of his friend's horrific crimes. The files have only amplified accusations that have been public for years, from the sworn testimony of witnesses to Andrew's own disastrous words. The story isn't over. With the world once again focused on the sordid details of his past, the question is no longer whether a single photo will bring him down. It's whether the sheer, crushing weight of all the evidence will finally force a full and honest accounting. What do you think? Does the lack of a new bombshell photo change anything? Or is the evidence we already have more than enough? Let us know in the comments. And make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our ongoing coverage.